Big miss. Big. Can you guys even hear me? Hold on. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. So I'm going to do a test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let me see. Hold on. Let me check. Let me see. What the fudge factor is going on here? So, I'm checking. Hold on. I'm checking. Hold on. All right. Okay. The audio's good, y'alls. Y'alls. You can hear me, y'alls. So in a previous live, I was talking about earnings reports, right? How earnings go down. If there's a publicly traded corporation here in the United States, they're obligated to report their earnings every 3 months. Publicly traded means that they sell their stocks to the public. Now, here's the deal, Roy. Roy! Here's the deal. I'm going to sum it up as quickly as I can. Corporations have this obligation. They have to report their earnings. In their earnings report, there are a number of different things associated with the corporation's finance that are reported. Not just whether or not how many things they sold, how many of whatever they have they sold, or how much in terms of dollars that services were provided. This is all done by analysts. Analysts, okay, no, analysts. That's the first step. You have analysts from a variety of different places. A variety. Jackson, what's going on, brother? Oh. Yeah. Butter. Yeah. Let's talk about this because this is kind of sort of crazy, kind of sort of. Check this out, Jackson, okay? I know you know about this because you're rich. But I'm reaching out to a bunch of people that are from the hood that they don't really pay attention or don't know much about the stock market, okay? So today, Tesla had its earnings. Now, before the report actually comes out, there's news all over the place that's provided by speculators, people who gather information, okay? The what do you call these people? But they provide the information before the report comes out. I don't know why I'm skipping a beat up here, but this is the expectation. This is what creates an expectation when these speculators come out. Geez, what's the name? Wow. I'm really having brain fog, but anyway. So an expectation as to how much per share that corporation is making, whether it be above, below, or at exactly the amount that it was reported previously. And institutional investors, other investors, they pay attention to what these speculators are saying, and are waiting to see if the report actually produces the same results. If it doesn't, it could be on the plus side or the negative side. It all depends. Now, the earnings reports don't necessarily have to be truthful. And the example that I used was Enron. So Enron was fudging their numbers, and they had accountants who were auditing them. Yeah, sure. Let me figure out how to do that. Okay. There you go. I think you're a moderator now. So the report that comes out isn't necessarily truthful. It isn't necessarily truthful. So that means that even though these reports come out, you still have to do homework. You still have to get into the weeds. You still got to find out, because right now, as I was looking through some of what was reported, there's some discrepancies. They're claiming one thing, but the numbers are saying something else. Me personally, I don't own any Tesla shares. I don't own Tesla stocks. It was never my thing. I mentioned that in the previous live. I was never sold on electric vehicles, so I never invested in Tesla anyway. But this quarter's report were terrible. Terrible. Yeah, I do. I look like a gangster. Let me read something off of a report that's on Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance happens to be, hey Brandon, Yahoo Finance happens to be one of my sources that I go to. It's free. There's a paid version, but I use the free version, and you can get some pretty interesting information off of this. And this is what it said. Tesla reported the first earnings Tuesday after the bell that widely missed the mark. So it wasn't even by a little bit. They missed by a lot. But the company said it still expects new vehicles to launch in the first half of 2025. I don't know how they're going to accomplish that. Again, Tesla does have some cult followers. They just do. Tesla said plans for new affordable vehicles are on track for start of production in the first half of 2025, and that it still expects robotaxi volume production starting in 2026, along with robotaxi testing. These were two big investor concerns heading into earnings. Now, there's nothing definite. There's nothing definite here. So whatever the sycophants are hearing is probably not being said here. It says the company, it said it still expects if you know anything about the history of Elon and his conference calls and the claims that he makes, then you know that he's always missing. He's always missing. He says he's going to deliver 1 year. Nothing. The Cybertruck was supposed to be this phenomenal thing, unbreakable glass. This guy comes over on stage, boom, the whole thing shatters. A whole glass shatters. His parts come from China. What's going on between the US and China right now? Tell me. What's going on? He's not going to get his parts cheap with this tariff war going on. So how is he going to produce these cheap vehicles? You got at least 3 electric vehicle companies in China that are kicking Tesla's butt. Kicking Tesla's butt. Producing electric vehicles just as good, if not better, than Tesla's at what, 1/3 the price? Can't compete with that. So for those who have never invested in Tesla, he's got a history of blowing smoke up people's butt. This is not financial advice, by the way, nor investing advice, but he's got a history of doing that. So anybody who's serious about investing, you can't get caught up on personalities. I've said this many, many times. You got to let the personalities go. You got to let that nonsense go. Yeah. Blowing smoke up people's butt. Yeah. And there's some people that just get down with that. They allow that to happen. 1 second. I'll be right back. Yeah. All up in there. Jeez. Now here's the thing. For Musk, it's important for that stock price. It's important for that stock price to be as high as possible, because to accommodate himself financially without having to pay much or anything in taxes, he doesn't pay himself a salary. He borrows money and he uses the shares as collateral to borrow money. That's how he lives, off of borrowed money. No, I'm not gonna get into. I don't like to get into fights. I really don't. I hate fighting, but it happens, especially when you're out here on the road. You got people that do dangerous stuff out here on the road. Dangerous. Not just inconsiderate, no, dangerous, where you could wind up wiping out an entire family from the stupid things that some of these people do. Yeah, no. I don't like doing that. I did a lot of that growing up, and I hated it. Always hated it. I even used to compete with that nonsense. And even competing, I'm not, that's not me. So, let me see where the price is at, because for how, for the way the report came out, the stock price should be collapsing, because it was that bad. Oh my God. Oh my. This trade that one of the five made, the trade that one of the five made, I'll explain later on with them. Yeah, the stock price is up by 4.5%. It's up. With the report the way it came down, it should have collapsed, but that's not unusual, and that's a sucker's bet as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that's right. I'll always win. I can't even close my fist. Look, I'm all tore up. How's the audio? Is it okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. Oh, Queen, I'm talking about, oh, it's mandatory. All corporations that sell stocks here in the United States, that sell their stocks, company stocks, that are publicly traded, all corporations that are publicly traded here in the United States. What's up, Aiden? Have to provide an earnings report every 3 months and once a year. The thing with earnings reports are that they're not necessarily accurate or honest. They're supposed to be, but if you look at what happened with Enron, for example, that was a disaster. And yeah, I don't know how much of it was cut off, because I know I got cut off at the end of one of those lives. So I'm repeating just in case for those who haven't heard. So when earnings come out, yeah, okay, so about half of it is muted. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna repeat this. $509 shoes? Is that the price? $509? Or is that a brand, or is that? Silly rabbit. So, oh, you know what? Let me get Queen up in here. So that's what happens. You got analysts from everywhere, from brokerages, analysts from private, geez, my brain. So you got analysts that come and give you a general idea of what to expect from the earnings report. And they're going by whatever information that they're getting from whatever sources that they're getting it from. They crunch the numbers. They try to figure out, yes, you are, you're blue, you made it. So the analysts get together, crunch these numbers, and try to figure out what it is that all the investors or whoever else is monitoring what to expect from the earnings reports that are coming up. I think I'm graduating from grade school, okay? And so with these analyst projections, people get an idea as to what to do depending on what comes out in the actual report. Now, the earnings report can be below the analyst expectation, can be right on point with what the analysts expected, or it could perform above. Right now, in this case with Tesla, the analyst projection wasn't that good, and the actual report was even was even worse. So the bedhead, yeah. So yeah, the numbers came out bad. This first quarter for Tesla, bad. Sales are down by a lot. The expectations are down. Lots of stuff are down for Tesla. And yet, right now, I just saw the price of the stock, it went up. And it's more than likely because of the smoke that Elon was blowing up people's butt during the conference call, because that's another thing. It's not just the earnings, it's not just what the analysts are expecting and the results in comparison to the results, it's also the it's also what the CEO claims is going to happen to the corporation in the near future. I'm sorry about this. Forgive me, y'alls. Okay, I got this. Yeah. All of his past claims were nonsense. So how does this guy keep afloat? Well, because he's got sycophants. He's got peoples. Yeah, my hair looks crazy. Just realized that. Yeah, that's because he's got a cult following. He's got a cult following. Bunch of people, and not only that, look, okay, check this out. You got people that are active in the stock market. Different from long-term investors. The long-term investors, they buy and they hold on. They hold on, and the years go by, and they benefit from the discipline. But you got people that are active. You got day traders, and then you have swing traders. So you have people that are more active than others, and these people, well, some of these people are some of these people are institutional investors. So when they play big, and it's through their speculation that they cause prices of stock to go up and down when they shouldn't go up or down. Okay, look. GameStop. Okay. So GameStop should have gotten crushed. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Brandon. I saw put his whole family's, yeah, and lost it. That would be nice, Queen, if he did that. That would be nice for anybody who invested with Tesla. But I'm gonna come back to what happened with GameStop. See, there's an activity that goes on amongst institutional investors, primarily with hedge funds. You have hedge funds that focus on short selling stock. When you have institutional investors short selling stocks, they drive the price of that stock down. Now, their justification for doing that is that the company is poorly ran and it's headed for a decline. And because it's headed for a decline, let's give it a little push. Let's make it happen faster. Or let's make it happen for sure when you have institutional investors. Because remember, institutional investors, when they use money, they use a lot of money. And that's why you see the prices move as much as they do. Because we're talking about millions of shares. So what happened with GameStop? With GameStop, somebody on Reddit did the math. They noticed that the amount of shares that were being shorted was greater than the amount of shares that actually existed. So if GameStop had 100 million shares available in total, but the number of shares that were short sold were... Hey, Poppy, I'm doing a live right now. Can I call you back?
Yeah.
Okay, love you. Dios te bendiga. So, when they realized that the number of shares that were being shorted was much greater than the number of shares that actually existed, this one individual decided to do something and told as many people as he could, listen, if you buy the shares now, if enough people start buying the shares now, at this price, it's going to force all these institutional investors to start buying those shares back so that they don't create a major loss. And it created a domino effect to where the stock price started going up so fast, it caused the price not just to go up so fast, it caused it to go up so much. Because these institutional investors were caught with their pants down. Now, these institutional investors what did you do? What did you do to Aiden? Jackson, what did you do to Aiden? Put them back on. Thank you. So, it doesn't just happen when somebody wants to go against short sellers or whatever the case is. But speculators go ahead and create a set of circumstances, and this happens also in the commodities market. Commodities like your fruits, vegetables, your oils, your metals, those are commodities. The same thing happens in the commodities market. This is the basic idea behind futures contracts. It was born in the agricultural sector. Okay, so this is how it goes down. See, farmers don't know what kind of year they're going to have. They never know. They planted, like, I drove through some road in Arkansas, and an area that looked like I was driving through several lakes, large lakes. They weren't lakes. This was flooded farmland, flooded. So I don't know what's going to happen with their with whatever they planted. I don't know if they lost it or not. But the thing is that when it comes to farming, the farmer has no guarantee of what's going to happen. He could produce a lot, he could produce a little. Some or all of his crops can be damaged through insects, disease, weather. Doesn't know. Now, somebody who owns a supermarket chain, they're gonna want, oh yeah, you're welcome, Queen. So somebody who owns a supermarket chain, understand that they're not the only game in town. There are several supermarket chains, and those are your competitors. If you own a supermarket chain, those are your competitors. Oh, that's a slick move. That's a slick move, Brandon. So, you have a supermarket chain, and you got competitors. You gotta keep your game. You gotta step your game up if you wanna outpace your competitors. If you wanna be relevant within your business, you're gonna have to look for ways to maintain, to stay competitive. So, what does a supermarket chain do? Goes to the farmer. Is it for Brussels sprouts or whatever it is? It doesn't matter what it is. Beans, anything. You go to that farmer, or you go to several farmers, and you make a contract with them. Even before they lay that seed down, go to the farmer, you say, hey, listen, you got broccoli, right? That's what you're, okay. Look, farmer doesn't know whether or not he's going to be successful or not. Doesn't know. But that owner, let's say you're the owner of that supermarket chain, you're going to want to make sure that you are top priority for this farmer. So you enter into a contract. And the broccoli is going to be delivered in the future. But you're making a contract now. So that's a futures contract. I think it started with butter. Butter, yeah, butter or eggs, one of the two. That's where the futures market started with the yeah. So in the Midwest. So now, no matter what, there's a price on that broccoli. No matter what, whatever it is by the bushel, I don't know how it is they sell it, but whatever it is, that's the price. Could be $100. Let's just say it's $100 a bushel. Let's call it a bushel. $100 a bushel. That's what you're paying for, and it's just an example. That's what you're paying for the broccoli that this farmer is producing. Should have run when he threw that. Yeah. I'm back on. What's that? Sorry. I'm back on. I just can't, I don't know if I can hear myself though. Son should have run when he threw that. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna hang up and go back on.
Okay, all right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, phone overheated, guys. Sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Bruh, can you hear me, bruh? With the volume on this thing. How that is? Too much noise in the background or what? Let me know. Whoever came back. If you came back, then that means you came back. Like who that is. I have to put this thing on blast, man. What is that noise? Let me see something, y'all. Y'alls. Yeah, reconnect, y'all. Got some background noise, man. Going crazy. What that is? See if that helps. Man, this is terrible. Terrible. I'll do another live later. Listen, y'alls, stay fresh, y'alls. I'm gonna have to do another live later because this noise is crazy. I'll see you guys in like about an hour. Yeah, maybe an hour.